Erling Haaland. You must have heard his name. Erling Haaland at just 23 is doing things not many can even dream of. But how? Well, let's find out. Here's the story of Erling Braut Haaland. Consider subscribing to our channel. It's free and helps us a ton. Thanks. Born in Leeds, England, Erling Haaland took to football at a very young age. His father, Alfie Haaland, was playing for Leeds at the time. However, at the age of 3, his family decided to move back to Bryn, Alfie's hometown in Norway. He showed a penchant for sport from a very early age. He joined his hometown club Bryn's Academy at the age of 5. Soon, it began to show that the boy was going to be something special. His coach from his youth, Alf Bernsen, said, "As a coach, you see things in 4 dimensions: the technical part, the tactical side, the mentality side, and the physicality. And quite early on, it was obvious Erling was strong in all those departments." At the age of 15, he played for Bryn's reserve team and scored 18 goals in just 14 appearances. Bernsen, recently promoted to the role of head coach of Bryn's first team, handed him his first start when Haaland was just 3 months away from his 16th birthday. While he didn't score for Bryn in his 16 appearances, he caught the eye of Hoffenheim and later moved to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Molde. At Molde, he had a quiet start. He scored only 4 times in 20 appearances in 2017. However, he started showing his appetite for goal scoring in his second season. Notable was his appearance against then unbeaten league leader Bryn. He scored 4 goals in the first 21 minutes in a 4-0 rout and showed the world what capabilities he had in front of the goal. The season proved very successful. Haaland was the top scorer at the end of the season as he ended up scoring 16 goals in his 30 appearances. For his performances in the 2008 Eliteserien, Haaland received the Eliteserien Breakthrough of the Year award. Soon, Red Bull Salzburg came calling. In a recent interview, it was revealed that Ole had offered Erling Haaland to his former club, Manchester United, for just £4 million. But they were not interested. There were murmurs from his father's former club, Leeds United, to sign him as well, but eventually he signed with Salzburg. And soon his immense goal-scoring talents were on full display in the Austrian Bundesliga. He dominated the league in 2019-20 season, 16 goals in 14 appearances, and when combined with his 8 goals in 6 Champions League appearances, he had already scored 28 goals in just 22 appearances for Salzburg. And it was apparent that big offers were on the horizon for this big lad. There were reports of both Manchester United and Juventus being interested in the Norwegian. However, it was Borussia Dortmund that ended up signing Haaland from Salzburg for a reported fee of €20 million, 3 days before the beginning of the 2019-20 winter transfer window. And he hit the ground running, scoring a hat-trick on his debut against Augsburg. Coming off the bench, he became only the 2nd player in German Bundesliga to do this after Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He showed similar form in Champions League, scoring both the goals in Dortmund's 2-1 home victory over PSG in the round of 16. Though PSG eliminated Dortmund in the return leg, Haaland ended the season on a high, scoring a total of 16 goals in 18 appearances across all competitions to end the 2019-20 season. In all, Haaland ended up scoring a total of 44 goals in 40 appearances across all competitions in the 2019-20 season, which includes his heroics with Salzburg as well. 2020-21 season saw more of Haaland's exploits in front of the goal. He started the season in style, scoring a brace in a 3-0 win over Borussia Mönchengladbach in the first match of the season. This season also saw him score 4 times in 32 minutes against Hertha Berlin. A hamstring injury curtailed what could have been a record-breaking season for him. Despite the injury setback, Haaland scored 27 goals in 28 league appearances. He also scored 10 goals in 8 Champions League appearances, becoming the fastest player to reach 15 and 20 goals in Champions League, while being the top scorer for this season of Champions League. He won his first trophy with Dortmund, scoring a brace in a 4-1 victory over RB Leipzig in the final of 2021 DFB Pokal. He ended up scoring 41 goals in all competitions and won the fan-voted Bundesliga Player of the Season award. He was also awarded Champions League's Best Forward award. 2021-22 saw his stock rise like never before, but it also saw him struggle with injuries. Sidelined by a hamstring injury in the first few months, he returned to score a brace against Mainz in a 3-1 victory. But he got injured again, this time a hip flexor injury that sidelined him for 2 months. On 27th November 2021, he scored his 50th Bundesliga goal in a 3-1 victory over Wolfsburg. This also meant he became the youngest player in Bundesliga history to reach 50 league goals, while also becoming the player to score 50 goals in fewest appearances. He ended the season with 22 goals in 24 appearances in the league and a total of 29 goals in 30 appearances in all competitions. It was increasingly becoming clear that Haaland had outgrown Dortmund. He had scored 86 goals in 89 appearances for Dortmund in all competitions, and bigger clubs were taking notice. The rumors continued linking Haaland to big clubs throughout his stay at Dortmund. At one point, the Dortmund forward took a tour of the Bayern Munich stadium, Allianz Arena, and it is reported that Bayern were ready to break their salary cap to sign the Norwegian. According to one report, Bayern were not only prepared to pay the 75 million euros release clause, but also offer almost 35 million euros a year in wages. There were constant rumors of Real Madrid being interested in Haaland, who wanted him to be the next in line after Benzema. In the end, it was Manchester City who won the big Norwegian signature. They paid Haaland's 60 million euros release clause to sign him. Alfie Haaland's links to the club where he played at one point may have also played a part in Haaland choosing City over other clubs. But now, everyone waited with bated breath how Haaland will perform in a demanding league like Premier League. Haaland was a goal machine, going to a team that scored goals for fun and yet didn't have an actual striker since Aguero's departure. How will he fit in a Pep system that was so reliant on movement around the box, a false 9 system, an attacking system that had player interchange position? Some people even went as far as to say that Haaland will not score more than 15 goals in an entire season, and people like Harry Kane and Heung-min Son will outscore him. Take a look.
Erling Haaland will not live up to the expectation. I am so bored.
Why won't he?
Because he isn't the player that everybody thinks he is. People are saying that he's going to win the Golden Boot. That is outrageous. It's so disrespectful to the establishment.
How many goals is he going to score this season?
I think he'd do really well to score. If he scores 15, it would be a really good season for him.
Okay.
Well, Haaland had a debut season to remember in the Premier League. He scored twice on his Premier League debut against West Ham. He scored 4 hat-tricks in the Premier League, including 3 consecutive home hat-tricks that included the 6-3 destruction of Manchester United at the Etihad. He scored 5 times in Manchester City's 7-0 demolition job on RB Leipzig in the second leg of the Champions League round of 16. By the time the season ended, Haaland had already scored 36 goals in 35 appearances, which meant he had already broken the record of most number of goals in a 38-game Premier League campaign. overtaking Liverpool's Mohamed Salah's record of 32 goals. He also broke the record of a 42-game Premier League campaign, overtaking Alan Shearer and Andy Cole's record of 34 goals. Combine it with 12 goals in 11 appearances in the Champions League and 4 goals in cup competitions, he had a stellar season, scoring 52 goals in 53 appearances in all competitions. Haaland's 5 goals against RB Leipzig brought him equal to Lionel Messi and Luis Adriano for the most number of goals in a single game in the Champions League. He ended up making history with Manchester City, winning a historical continental treble, only the second club from England to achieve this feat, winning the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Champions League. His second season, that is the 23-24 season, by comparison, has been less stellar because of the injuries and dull form. I mean, if you can call 18 goals in 22 league appearances and being at the top of the Premier League goal scorers chart dull form. This is after he missed the whole December due to injuries. He has already scored a hat-trick this season in the Premier League against Fulham. He just scored 5 goals in his only FA Cup game so far against Luton Town and has scored 5 goals in the Champions League in the 6 games he's appeared in. In 31 appearances across all competitions this season so far, he's already scored 28 goals, and that's when he's not in his best form. I mean, his lack of form and his goal-scoring prowess both were exemplified in the derby against Manchester United at the Etihad in the weekend. By the way, it seems he's taken a liking to Manchester United, having scored 6 goals against them in 5 appearances. A true Manchester City fan, that. When people make parallels with the Terminator, there's a good reason for that. How does he do this? Well, for starters, at 6'4", he's taller than quite a few defenders around, and yet he's strong and has a lot of pace. He can hold defenders at an arm's length, can not only run through most defenses but also outpower them, something no defender is comfortable with. Since coming to City, he's also shown that he can hold on to the ball with his back to the goal to make space for others while also linking up play by dropping deep. Unlike most tall strikers who are regarded as target men, Haaland is mobile and can be used in both unlocking a deep defense as well as hitting a team on the counter due to his pace. Many like to compare him with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Unlike other strikers, he also seems selfless, as in he enjoys the success of other players in his team, celebrating them like his own. An introvert off the field, he seems to be a down-to-earth man. Due to being born in England, he is eligible to play for both England and Norway in the international arena, but he has chosen Norway, for whom he is arguably their best player, having scored 27 goals in 29 international appearances. Erling Haaland is one of a kind. Even now, nobody knows how good he can be because he's not a finished article. Despite his prolific goal-scoring feats, he can still be wasteful at times and still has deficiencies in his game, which no doubt he's working hard to overcome. If he's this good with all these gaps in his game, how good will he be when he irons them out? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. On a parting note, here's Erling Haaland's contribution to the musical world as part of Flow Kings.
Heller om verdenskrise. Jeg synes det mye viktige gutter. Jeg lyng og alle vet det.
Thank you for watching. Like if you like the video, share if you find it worthy, and subscribe. This is Salty Football.